Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today, I've got a great movie for you. I mean, I'm not even gonna try to hold it back. I saw a trailer for this when it first came out, the first trailer, and I was like, that is a movie I'm interested in seeing. And it's been a while since that came out, but finally it came to my theater. So today, I watched The Last Duel. The Last Duel was released in 2021. It was written by Nicole Holofenser and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and it was directed by Ridley Scott. This movie, alright, no spoilers, the general idea is it's based on a true story about this giant duel that went down in history, alright? And the general idea is there's this man who becomes a knight, who has a wife who is beautiful and awesome, and is kind of, he doesn't treat her very well. And there's this other guy who used to be the knight's friend, who is a squire, who then goes and rapes the woman, allegedly. And it is about them deciding who is telling the truth, right? Because in the olden days, in the 1300s, they were like, God decides everything, and this is in France. So, you do with that what you may. But then they decide, alright, the only way to do this logically is through a duel. So then they fight to the death to decide who was telling the truth. Which, honestly, isn't as stupid as it sounds given the context of the film. Obviously, we would never do that now, I would think. But it worked, because really, what I was astonished by from the very first second of the film was the atmosphere and the look of the film, which was perfect. I was a little thrown off by the fact that none of them were speaking French or had French accents, but whatever, I get it, it's an American film, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, this looks like what I would imagine that time period would look like, so I was really, really excited for that, because it looked stunning. And then there are the performances, what I think really sell the film. Matt Damon is so good. There's one small issue that I have with Matt Damon, and that is that it kind of looked in some scenes like Matt Damon was doing an impression of Leonardo DiCaprio doing an impression of Matt Damon. And I was just like, huh. Like, there were times where I was like, wow, that really looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. And honestly, that's a really good compliment. And I never thought that Matt Damon was bad. I never, think of him as, my favorite actor. He's still not my favorite actor, but boy, did this film help. He was very, very solid in this film. I mean, it probably helps that he helped write the film, but, whatever. Adam Driver is good as always. He was actually my least favorite performance of the main four, really, which kind of surprised me. And I don't know, I just didn't really care for his character as much as the other ones, but, very well done still. Jodie Comer, who was freaking amazing in this film. I don't think she'll be, in the running for, Best Actress or anything for Oscar, but she was very, very good. And Ben Affleck, who for the first time in a film, I'm like, whoa, Ben Affleck, it's you! It was so good. And he had this makeup on, and he dyed his hair blonde, and he did not at all look like Ben Affleck to me. I was just like, that's not Ben Affleck. The whole time, I was like, that's really good. You almost got me. The way that this film is structured is really cool, right? There are three distinct point of views that the film is viewed from. We do first Matt Damon's, then Adam's, and then Jodie Comer's. And I think it's really cool that it's literally the exact same story in three different circumstances with their version of the truth in each one, which I can't imagine how frustrating that must have been to film, but I'm so happy. It was really freaking cool. Truly, it was really freaking cool. I really enjoyed seeing that. I think some people are going to get frustrated. There was some man in the theater who was in the back, and when it went, Chapter 3, the truth of, because that's how they do open all three point of views, and the guy behind me goes, God damn it, how many times are they going to show us this? And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but also, it's different every time, right? There are slight changes in the way things are told each time, and it's really cool. It's inviting. I'm over here trying to pick out what the difference is in each one, and honestly, what I like about the film as well is it kind of lets you decide who you think is telling the truth. They do a pretty good job of telling each in its own perspective in a way that works. I was particularly concerned about Adam Driver's, because I'm like, obviously, he did or he did not rape Jodie Comer's character. It's just true, right? That's a fact. He either did or he did not. He can't sort of have done it. he kind of sort of did in his perspective. It was really cool. I really liked how it was playful in that area. It was like, okay, we kind of see where he's coming from. He's wrong, but we kind of see where he's coming from to a certain extent from his point of view, which I thought was cool. One thing I thought was underplayed was the misogyny of you know, the whole system. I think it was played well. I think that particularly in the eyes of God, it worked pretty well. And the idea that, like, you know, most people are men, and it's a men's world in the 1300s, and I appreciated that they actually went that route and did that. I think it could have been hit a little harder. Maybe we could have had even more, particularly from the perspective of Jodie Comer. We could have had a little bit more to work with that awfulness. Not the end of the world, didn't make the movie bad, but I think we could have used more, which it's probably safer to play it less, but I think I would have enjoyed a little bit more from that. The fighting and the special effects are super cool. The ending battle, of course, is super dope. Not going to talk about it, but it's freaking awesome. The whole film is just so cool. It is tightly packed. It doesn't feel long. I had to pee a lot by the end of it, but it wasn't long, right? It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is a long movie, but it didn't feel long because it was paced very well. It was paced very, very well. And then also, when you got the idea that they're going to be doing different perspectives, you're like, okay, well, after this scene, we're going to see this scene slightly different. And it was kind of cool to, like, follow that and understand where the story was going. I thought that was really nice. I don't think a lot of people are going to like this movie. I think that, like, there are going to be some people who really don't like this film. I think it's either you really like it or you really hate it. Understandable. I really like it. I'm going to go ahead and give The Last Duel an A. Have you seen The Last Duel? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film. I want to know. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. It is in theaters. It's not streaming anywhere to my knowledge, but it is in theaters. And please consider subscribing. A lot of you watching the videos and you don't subscribe. Subscribing is a huge, huge help. Plus, when we get to 200, I'm going to be doing an 8-hour-long live variety show that you're not going to want to miss. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.